so let's begin. So yesterday where we had stopped when Buddha wanted to go and find out. So before we go further, what we need to remember is what is that we should search and what is that we are searching. So two things. We are searching for the same kind. There won't be any change. So we are searching for relationship, we are searching for job, we are searching for food, we are searching for shelter, we are searching for clothing, we are searching for medicine, and that's what we are searching. So next life or whichever life, that will be the same thing. So we'll be searching the same thing. Absolutely no difference. So we also have to understand different realms of existence. When we say a realm, what it means. When we say aloka, what it means. So when we say meditate, what are we going to meditate on? So the first thing what anybody can meditate on is on different kind of beings which we can find in our homes. So we can find cockroach, we can find mosquitoes, we can find flies, we can find on the road dogs and cows and cat and domesticated sheep and all that. And if we were to go to some wildlife sanctuary, we can find tiger and lion and leopard and cheetah and deer and so many things, giraffe and all that. Or if we go to a zoo, we can find many kind of animals. So the question comes, how did the consciousness take on that body? What were the conditions necessary for it to happen? Now the greatest gift of Buddha Dhamma is to look at the 10 immoral deeds. So the first three, that is the Pānātipāta, Adinnadana, Kamesha Miccāchāra, three things done by the body. We can see if we were to cultivate with knowledge or without knowledge, we are going to end up being an animal in whichever birth it is. It doesn't matter. So, but we are making that energy to focus itself. So if I were to be a Sotapanna, that means I'm not going to do any one of these. Simple. So it's not that we have to use a lot of energy to think about whether I'm a Sotapanna or I'm not a Sotapanna, I'm a Sotapanna or not a Sotapanna. Very simple. If we are not willing to kill, if we are not willing to steal, and if we are not willing to do immoral sexual or sensual activity, that doesn't mean that we are not going to go towards sensuality. That doesn't mean that we are not going to have sexual relationship with our own spouse. That's okay. But that doesn't mean that we are going to do something with somebody else. Now, if I do something with somebody else, be it a prostitute or be with somebody or be a girlfriend or be some friends and all that, and that becomes Kamesha Miccāchāra. So what it would then take, the energy would then do, or the consciousness will then do, it to establish itself in that kind of existence which is fair, because I love that. So when I love that, its becoming is going to be there. So bhava pachaya jati, that means that becoming, I want to become that. So what I would become? So I might become some animal, can be dog or can be whichever animal, it makes more sense to that, would be the case. So we can find right now whether we are interested in any one of those. So what Buddha says is that if you are interested in it, then you drop it. So basically, what he really looked into it is that, am I getting some 7 things, what he talks about. So the seeking here is on how to live, how to eat, how to wear clothes, how to earn a living and job and grow in the job, etc., which ultimately ends up. The body ends up and every day is going away. That means the previous day is not gone. Sorry, it's no longer there. So the previous day can never be found out. In any given time, nobody can go back 1 hour ago. We can't go back. It's gone. So there are 5 Mara. Okay, this is one thing what we need to understand. So in the Pali word, Mara is something to do with death. So there are 5 kinds of death which is created. Basically, we can see it. So the first kind of Mara is Marana. Mara is removal. Marana means complete removal. So that's the first Mara. And the second Mara is Khanda Mara. So there are 5 Khandas. So we have Rupa Khanda, Vedana Khanda, Sanya Khanda, Sankhara Khanda, Vijnana Khanda. Each one of these, the consciousness, Vijnana, associating with all of that, will become the person. It can be an animal, it can be human, it can be whatever, Deva, Brahma, whatever it is, but that is what is the second one. That is called Khanda Mara. Third one is Abhisankara Mara. Abhisankara is, there are 3 Abhisankaras. So we have Punyabhisankara, Apunyabhisankara, Anenjabhisankara. In Punyabhisankara we get a good birth, which is again Mara. It keeps on giving you birth. It keeps on giving you death and next birth and next death and next birth. But in a good places, not in bad place. Then we have Apunyabhisankara, wherein it takes to the bad destination. So with the 10 immoral deeds, we can get into a bad destination. Then Anenjabhisankara. Here the person gets into jhana and is so much obsessed with jhana that he creates a world. So now, actually speaking, we have created a world. So what is this world all about? So when we see all of us, we immediately recognize that we are humans. Who told we are humans? One human said to another human that you are human. So we have accepted and we look the same. Nobody here looks something different. So then we generally believe that we are humans. How does a human come? Nobody knows. They say that human being comes from a womb, the mother. But how did it appear in the mother? That nobody knows. And the same thing, how did it appear in a cow? How did it appear in a cow, in a tiger, in a lion, in a bed bug, or in a mosquito, or in wherever, or in a fish, or in a crab? How? No, we don't know. So what is missing? So the seeking is one. When we see this seeking, we don't find an answer. So we have to leave that condition 1 and get into a seeking where we can get the right answer. So he uses 7 terms. Nibbida. First term, Nibbida. We are enchanted in this human realm of existence. Literally enchanted. Now the question comes, enchanted by what? Enchanted by the same amount of people we see. So I see myself, and I see, let us say, and right now on the video, I have Shreyas and I have Preeti. So when I see them, I recognize them and I create an opinion that they are like this or they are like that, whatever is the opinion. So that is an illusion. But I am not disillusioned. So I should select a Dhamma which can remove that illusion. So Nibbidaya. Then the second one is Viragaya, dispassion. If I know how did we all come, then there is no passion. If we don't know how we all came, then there is passion. So how did we come? We came in space. Simple. Before getting into the womb, where was this person? Not there. Could we see it in the eyes? No. So that means it's from space. There's no other way to explain. Now, if you were to say that I don't believe in space, okay, then it just came. The consciousness just entered the womb from somewhere. But that passion remains. If we know how did we enter into the womb, that creates dispassion. So Nirodhaya. Viragaya. Then we have Nirodhaya. How we can find a cessation for how we have entered. And that we have to search through Dhamma, whichever Dhamma it is. So Buddha also wanted to find out. So when he went to Alara Kalama and when he went to the Uddaka Ramaputta, this is what his questions were. And then it should give peace, Upasamaya. It should provide an insight, Abhinyaya. Awakening, Sambodhaya. Then it should provide Nibbanaya. That is complete extinguishment. So, in these two teachers where he went, one teacher, the first teacher, explained to him nothingness, and second teacher gave him neither perception nor non-perception. Neva sanya, na sanya ayatana and akincha ayatana is what he learnt. So this we will be talking later. So at present I will move. So then he started looking out because he was not getting what he wanted to do. Then after that, he sat under the Bodhi tree and then he found. Now we will be spending more time in finding out what did he find and what we can find for ourselves in this Bodhi. So Bodhi is also in Pali called as Bodhi Vematta, which means knowing the what to be known. So what did he find? The general thing is there are two things what he found. One is idapachayata. So that means the paticca is one he could find, and also the Four Noble Truths. So these two will release the person from the samsara. Now we have to see how this is going to remove and how this will take from a person from a Puttujana who doesn't know to Sotapanna to Sakadagami to Anagami and Arhat. So and what we need to do to really get into there. So the first and foremost thing is to work out on Dasa Akusala. So there is also somebody asks him, tell me in a very simple word what we need to do. So Buddha says that sabba papas akaranam, that is, remove all immoral deeds. Kusalasa upasampada, develop the kusala. Satchitta pariyodapanan, purify the chitta in order to eliminate these akusala. Etena buddhana sasanam. This is what all Buddhas are going to teach. So before beginning on anything, you work only on these 10 immoral deeds, which will then help one to remove the 5 hindrances: kamachanda, vyapada, thinamida, udacha, kukucha and visikicha. So these are the only thing that can help us to move from sotapanna to sakadagami to anagami and arhat. So to be at arhat phala samapatti, there is no trace of tanha, there is no trace of the dasa kusala, that's all, and there is no trace of the 5 hindrances. All are removed without any residue. So ida pachayata paticca samutpado is the one what he found, and that has the 4 noble truths. So what we are going to do is, we are going to now get into ourselves to experience what should be experienced. So the first thing to be taken is food, ahara. This, what you need to do is, we need to work on it for the whole of 2 weeks without any break. Meaning in the vitakka, we should have this analysis of the food. Then in the vichara, keep on contemplating on the food. You will get piti, sukha, ekagata. So you are in jhana. So let us experience it together today. So what we first going to do is the kabalinkara ahara, that is the solid food. And here olariko sukumo. So those people who are, those beings who are in the womb, just like somebody is pregnant and she is 1 month pregnant or 15 days pregnant or just a day pregnant, still it is eating food. So it is sukuma. A baby is born, it is olarika. So we can see ahara, depending upon the level of the being, it can become olarika or sukuma. Sukuma means subtle, olarika means gross. So when the baby comes out of the womb and it is given to the mother is feeding the breast milk, which is olarika, which is solid or gross food. It is liquid, but still it is a gross food. And after few weeks, the mother starts feeding some solid food. And after few months, it is capable of eating some solid food, like porridge and so many other milk-based products, which are solid. So they can give milk powder and supplements and all that. Apart from the mother's milk, it can have that. So which is solid, meaning which is gross. Whereas if we go at the time of inception, jati, to sanjati, when it enters into the womb at sanjati moment, the blastocyst, what is happening? It's sukuma. So we can use this contemplation. Right now, all that we are eating is olarika. All that the being as a being, when it entered into the womb, that is, I entered into the womb, I was having sukuma, subtle, no gross. So where did it go? It's gone. Nothing can be done about the food which is gone. That means the breast milk what I had, the various milk products, milk supplements what was given to me, lot of solid supplements which was given to me, both when in the womb and outside the womb, are all gone. And all the days of my eating is also gone. There is not even one day I could keep it. So that means I can see the flow, and it is flowing where? It is flowing towards aging. So now we can find another shocking thing here. So when we have Kabalinka Ahara, there is another Ahara which is subtler than this, is the Phassa Ahara. So when five senses touches the five sense objects, there is a contact, Phassa, and it creates Vedana. So there is feeling. That itself is a Ahara. Then we have Mano Sanchetana Ahara. That is more to do with Mano Sankhara. So we have again Vedana and Sanya. And Vijnana itself is a Ahara, because we are going to have the idea of Nama and Rupa. So I want to visit a particular country for work, or go to work, or eat something of my liking. It can be dosa or a different kind of dishes, or whatever, of Indian origin or Western origin or continental, Mexican, American, and all that. Each one is a Vijnana. And also the formulations of whatever we call about people, whatever their role with which we call. So if I am calling by the, what I can say, if I am calling by the person as a wife, or she's calling me as a husband, then certainly that is a Vijnana Ahara. Like that, I have a son, daughter, bank balance, family obligations. All of these are Vijnana Ahara. So what it really shows to me is that all the time these four aharas are going to be there. So this would be my contemplation for 2 weeks, starting today. So if I were to do it correctly, then I can find Tanha Samudayo, Ahara Samudaya, Tanha Nirodho, Ahara Nirodho. That means I can now see the Four Noble Truths. So the Dukkha I have found out, that is this Ahara. Then when it is Samudaya and Nirodha, Samudaya is the cause for that Dukkha. And then when I have this Dukkha, there is a way out also. So the way out here is the Nirodha. So when I come into the Nirodha portion, how would I come into it? So we need to understand the fuel. We need to understand the food, what it does. So he understands the Ahara, he understands the Samudaya, he understands the Nirodha, and he understands the ahara nirodhagamini patipada. So if we start with this for 14 days, this should give us the same experience as what Buddha experienced. That means this one will take from Sotapanna to Sakadagami to Anagami to Arhat. We don't have to do anything other than this as jhana. So now, how does this craving come by? This craving is coming by taste. So now, how does the taste come? What is the reason for taste? The reason for taste is the phassa, which is contact. So once I have a contact, that means, let's say I like to drink coffee. Now, how does coffee come to be? So let's understand just this coffee. Now, let's say a person has never had a coffee in his life and never known what is coffee. What it means is that his sankharas don't match, because there are no vasanas which exist, or the impressions that exist about that coffee in his earlier lives. So when I go to somebody's home, they then give me a cup of coffee and say that this is coffee. So when the coffee is given, I have no idea what is coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it near my nose, and the aroma of that coffee enters into the nose. And when the aroma enters into the nose, this indriya, that is the ghana indriya, with that gandha, the consciousness vijnana is going to fetch the record from whichever life this coffee was first had by that individual. It need not be this life, because in this life he has never been introduced. Now what happens here is that the memory comes automatically once the smell is thrown. So then he likes the smell, or in this case I like the smell. So when I like the smell, automatically the next job is to put it in the mouth. So now what I do is I take that coffee and put it in the mouth. I don't know how it tastes. So the first sip, it's slightly non-understandable. And the person who gave the coffee asked me, how do you feel? I said, something bitter, there is some sweet and something I am not able to understand. Then I drink the second sip of coffee. What the consciousness now does is, it goes back and fetches the record from wherever this coffee was had, in whichever life. That decoction with whatever was had in its earlier lives, and it brings back and say, this is the coffee. So once I had 2-3 gulps of that coffee, I start liking. So Shreyas, before coming, we all meeting, he was asking me, how does I come to be? So this is how I come to be. This I has been continuing from time immemorial. So we can't say where this I started. Now I am having this coffee. So I somehow finished that coffee, never had the proper experience. So I'll say to this family who gave me this coffee, oh, this is first time I had. I don't know, but I liked it. How did I like it? I liked it because that impression was there. So just like Buddha says, Chakuncha paticca rupe upajjati chakku vinyanam tinna sangati phasso phassa vachaya vedana vedana pachaya tanaha tanaha pachaya upadana. So if we were to take that and translate it into English, it means that with the I and the form, consciousness basically matches both of them. So the I also comes at that time and the sight also comes at that time. And when that object is removed, the I is gone and sight is also gone. There is no I and sight anymore. But it does it so fast, it looks like a continuous stream. So now in this case, instead of I, chakku, we are going by ghana, which is nose, and gandha, smell. Then we are going by jivha, that is the tongue, and rasa, the whatever the food which is being taken. Now in their family, in their home, I had this drink. I don't know what the drink is. So then I'll ask them, oh, can you tell me what the drink is all about? They say it is called coffee. And this is what nama and rupa of vijnana is all about. Now every time coffee is mentioned, it automatically brings down from memory the first coffee what a person had, and then it is called coffee. This is called vijnana ahara. Now here is what the craving has started. If I like it also, there is craving. Yes, if I hate also, there is craving. There's craving for removal. So we get kamatanaha, bhavatanaha, vibhavatanaha. So kamatanaha is through sensual. Bhavatanaha is that I want to become that which I am not today. Vibhavatanaha is the one that I am today. I don't want it and I don't want anything also. So I feel with the removal of this body, everything is gone. That is again a tanha. It's a craving. So this coffee is now stored. When this coffee is stored, next time I go to somebody's home and they ask me, Vilas, do you drink coffee? I say yes. Why? Because now I have the message. But now this is second coffee and now they give me coffee. I'll say, oh, this is darker. This is called as dark coffee. Okay, what is dark coffee? It's just decoction. No. Then the another person's home I had gone there and they said that they have put some milk and sugar. Oh, you like with milk, is it? Okay, I'll change it and give it to you. We all drink dark coffee. So then I say, okay, no problem. Let me also try this dark coffee. And then again the smell. I ask them, what coffee is this? They say, look, we have just returned from US, so we have Starbucks coffee. I have no idea what is Starbucks for the coffee. Then they say it's very nice one. And the aroma, the smell is much more pleasing than the first home where I had this coffee some days ago, or rather some months ago. So they say it's a Starbucks coffee, it is in America. It's an American coffee. Oh, okay. Actually, it is Mexican. Mexico grows a lot of coffee, and then all that story they give, and I have no idea where is America and where is Mexico. So they take a globe and show me this is the place where America is, and this is the place where Mexico is, and all that. So what is happening in the background is the vijnana is working, that is the consciousness, which is taking all these frames and like a magician keeps on connecting it. That's the ahara. Then the mano sanchetana ahara is the mentally, now I am doing sankharas. To possess America, to possess Mexico, to possess this country, that country in the mind. So I want to do something about it. And then Pāsarāsisutta. So now this coffee is between the nose and the tongue. So two of these have to work. And eyes not much, because except for seeing black color or white color, it is not really making out anything. So now the two of these senses out of 5 senses are completely occupied. Now what happens is they give me this coffee with milk and I like it much better than the first coffee I had. Now what the Vijnana is going to do is to replace the previous one with this taste. So now it's just like a software programmer had one thing called as a variable, in that he had some value earlier and that value is removed by this new value. So let's say you have a bank account, and in the bank account you had 10,000 rupees. Now you have a 20,000 rupees. So totally you have got 30,000 rupees. So what is now stored in the account is 30,000. In the same way, what was stored as a taste and the flavor of coffee and including the name of coffee is now replaced by Starbucks coffee. So now I am going to give this ahara to here. So now it has become samudaya. Sama udaya. Udaya means arising. Sama means equally. It arises equally without any doubt. Then tanha. So tanha samudaya, ahara samudaya. So now the fuel and fire is started. The craving for coffee keeps on increasing to an extent that every few hours I would like to have a coffee now, without which I cannot really survive. So whenever I sit at home now and then I will ask my wife, do you know coffee? She says, what's that? You don't know. See, some things you should learn, right? So I will tell you what is coffee. So I'll give her a good view of coffee. And I'll say that, look, we need to have a kettle. What is a kettle? Okay, I'll buy and give it to you, and that's called kettle. So her mind is getting conditioned now. Okay, so we are going to do this coffee business. So we bring it from the shop, and then if somebody is coming from US, I will tell them, why don't you buy? I heard Starbucks coffee is good. Yeah, we know Starbucks. Okay, you want how much kg? So bring some 2 kgs of Starbucks coffee, and they bring coffee, and I feel very happy. So when somebody comes home, I would like to present them with coffee. So I'm going to ask them, do you like coffee regular or you would like Starbucks? So now what is regular? Regular is the local coffee, whatever is there. And I say that it's not that good. I add my own view to that because I feel it good. I don't want my wife to make a regular coffee, but she says no, it is good, equivalent to Starbucks. I had both the taste and I find both admirable. Now from where did she enjoy it? From her past existence. And where am I enjoying it? I am also enjoying from my past existence. So this is called as loka. So each one we have created a loka. Now this is called as coffee loka. World of coffee. So now if we all meet, it becomes a coffee drinkers association. So you require a coffee growers association, and then you have a coffee drinkers association, and then we go to a stall or a store where we can have coffee. So just like Starbucks in US, in India we have Cafe Coffee Day. Started in Bangalore. So anything can happen over a cup of coffee is the slogan. And yes, certainly this is what has happened, that craving has increased. So this is about coffee. How about alcohol? Same. How about millets? Same. How about rice? Same. How about wheat? Same. And then how about having dosa? Same. Idli and vada and all of that, or North Indian recipes and Maharashtrian recipes and West Indies and East Indies and American or Mexican or Chinese or whatever countries. The same thing. There's no difference. So we have samudaya. So the tanha is the game changer. It wants to exist. So if it wants to exist, you have to exist. So when you exist, craving also exists. So what we are doing is create the kama tanha. Again and again and again, I would like to enjoy that coffee. Again and again and again, I would like to enjoy that roti with dal, Punjabi kind of thing. Or again and again and again, I would like to enjoy the Italian, which is pizza, let's say. And then I love Taco Bell. It can be in Mexico, it can be in US, it can be in India, wherever, but I love Taco Bell for one kind. Or then I go in shopping spree with lot of things. So I like a particular color. If I like a particular color, it's again a food. So the ahara. So vijnana goes back and finds that color and brings back to the eye. And I and that object meet through this consciousness. So one person will say this green is so ugly looking, and another person will say, what do you talk? It is such a nice green. I love this green. So from where did he bring that? From his past impressions. Where did the past impressions start? Right from the beginning. There is no beginning which can be identified. This is the beginning. So it is endless. So how long we've been there in samsara? As long as we have five senses, we have lived in the samsara. So how long that is? We don't know. Eons and eons and eons of existence. So if we were an animal, also we have tasted something or the other. If we were humans, also we have tasted something or the other. So if you're majorly into wife and husband and daughter and son and family backgrounds, that means we would have only stayed as humans at the max, because this nama rupa is only there in humans. Animals have a different kind of nama rupa. Devas will be having their own different kind of nama rupa. But as far as this is concerned, we are having this nama rupa. So basically, this is going to be a sorrowful business, because we are going to lose all of those relationships, and we ourselves will be reborn into that existence. So there is no nirodhaya. If there is no nirodha, then there is no upasamaya. If there is no upasamaya, there is no abhinyaya. If there is no abhinyaya, sambodhaya, and then nibbānaya. So if we want that, we have to reflect on these ahara. So ahara nirodha is getting rid of this craving. So how do I get rid of craving? Just observe all the rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana from time immemorial. When I was drinking coffee in my past life, same rupa, same vedana, same sanya, same sankhara, same vijnana. What am I doing now? Same one. So if I were to say I have a past existence, only these 5 aggregates. I have my present existence, these 5 aggregates. If I say I have a future existence, these 5 aggregates. If I have a wife, 5 aggregates earlier. If I say she is my wife now, 5 aggregates. In future she will be my wife, again 5 aggregates. There's nothing else which is happening. And in the Rupa, it is the skin color will be something different of each individual. Vedana, the feeling, I might like her, I might not like her, I might be neutral to her, depending upon the moods which are swinging between myself and her all the time. Sanya, the perception says that she is your wife and she is doing this and she is doing that. The perception keeps on changing based upon whatever she is doing through the different sankharas. That is Vachi Sankhara, Mano Sankhara and the Kaya Sankhara. And then Vinyana, Chakku Vinyana, Sota Vinyana, Ghana Vinyana, Jivha Vinyana, Mano Vinyana. So all 6 Vinyanas. And what it does is that it just connects one with the other and brings the memory back from wherever it was. So I can see for sure there is no person except for these 5 aggregates. If I were to do this continuously, then what is that it's going to happen? The ahara will end because there is no tanha. Meaning I will have physical food, but I am not literally craving for it. It's just food. Without the physical food being craved for, there can't be any passa as this or that. If there is no passa, there is no vedana. And there is no sanya, there is no sankhara, there is no vinyana. Like that, it will start to open up. The panchupadana khanda will just become panchakhanda. And because of that, the mano sanchetana ahara will drop away. That means from the mind, the vedana and the sanya will become very subtle from gross. That means I still taste, but there is no I in the taste. I still see, but there is no I in the seeing. I still hear, but there is no I in the hearing. So the vinyana is getting jnana, so it is going back to the chitta state, purity state. Now the experiences are going to be far more better than the experiences what I was getting through these 5 senses. So when I do that, I can now see the paticca samutpada in operation. Meaning, I can now see how did jara come to be because of jati. Meaning jara in the sense that my birth till, that is, I was having a very subtle food while in the stomach of my mother. Even before that, when the conception happened, the day my mother, without her knowledge, became pregnant because of me entering inside, or the consciousness entering inside, all that it did was to eat the egg only. Nothing else it ate. And from that, the blastocyst started. So the cells started dividing from 2 cells to 4 cells to 8 cells to 16 to 32, like that, and started to take some form. And the food for that is coming from the mother until it came and landed in the uterus. and after landing in the uterus, it started growing. So I can now say that some being is growing there using the food, which is subtle. Only after I come out from the womb, or only after the baby has come out of the womb, or rather the consciousness wearing itself the 4 elements has come out of the womb, then only it can start taking this gross food. So when I start seeing the food, I have to see there was a time when I was eating subtle food. Now there is a time when I am eating gross food, but as the age progresses, a day will come when I have to only eat liquid food because no teeth will be there, and I'll be so weak that they might give me IV and the saline will be put inside through my veins. And it is painful, absolutely, it is not fun. I have to sleep and they have to keep on feeding me food. If something else has happened, then they have to cut open these individual parts through the throat and start giving me food. So again, this torture is bound to be there. If I'm lucky, meaning if my karma are good, then I don't have to face any one of that. But yet I need to face the marana, death. The Mara is going to come and hit everyone for sure. Nobody is spared. Now when I observe this in motion, where nobody can escape it, then the nibbidha happens, pittahara. That craving ends or it reduces. So sabba sankhara samatho sabbupadi patinisaggo happens. Because now I find there is no point. So when there is no point, then there is no relishing of food. And the relishing is nothing but the kama chanda. So that is gone. With that gone, there is no vyapada. So kama chanda and vyapada goes away, making the person an anagami. That's all. So with food, we can easily enter into anagami state. We don't have to worry whether I am a sotapanna or whether whichever person is going to give me a title, whether I am a sotapanna or not. We ourselves can make it out. If we are purifying the 10 immoral deeds and we are removing the hindrances ourselves and following the Buddha Dhamma in correct practice through the suttas, we can find it for ourselves. Because we ourselves know what we are. We ourselves know how much Dhamma we are implemented, or how much Dhamma has really gone as being a walking, talking Buddha within ourselves. So we can, through this, reach anagami, because in the mano sanchetana ahara, there is nothing to be enjoyed. So the vijnana is full of awareness, sampajana. That means it has become yoniso manasikara. So it recedes from the vijnana to manasam. So the 9 stages of vijnana, in that it goes back to manasam. It just identifies the food but does not make it as mine. So ahara nirodha has happened. If ahara nirodha has happened, then we come into the first eightfold path, sammaditthi. In the sammaditthi, I am going to implement why am I eating. I am eating not for enjoyment. I am not eating for show off. I am eating because I have to remove these two diseases. One is hunger, another one is thirst. Again it pains. Again I need to eat. Again it pains. Again I need to eat. Number 2. For brahmacharya, for leading a holy life, I need to eat. Only these are the two reasons for which I am eating. So that means anything given which is edible is good for me. So I don't have to do anything extra. Then I am going to look at the next requisite, which is clothing. I am covering up this filthy body because it is filthy, and also covering because there are other living beings which try feeding on that, which I don't want them to get killed because they are torturing me. So to ensure that they don't torture and to ensure that I don't give a very bad feeling to others, I am wearing the clothing. Not for enjoyment, not for show off. Then shelter. Because of the sun and the heat and the rain and wind and all of this, plus so many different kind of beings keep on torturing. So to stop the torturing and to continue on my brahmacharya, I am having a shelter. And since the plant body or the animal body, if I am eating non-vegetarian or vegetarian, they both have one thing in common. They lead to diseases. And nothing that can be done. If I eat, disease. If I don't eat also, disease. So nothing that can be done. So I need to have medicines. So to maintain my brahmacharya till this body collapses by itself, I need to have food, I need to have clothing, I need to have shelter, I need to have medicine. Now the ahara what I am giving to the mind is these 4, which is mano sanchetana. So the vijnana ahara doesn't have name and form. Then there is no contact of sensuality. But there is contact which is upekha. So avidya pacchaya sankhara is not there. Avidya pacchaya sankhara, sankhara pacchaya vijnana, vijnana pacchaya namarupa, namarupa pacchaya salayatana, salayatana pacchaya phassa, phassa pacchaya upekha. So now it doesn't go into Vedana and Sanya, Vedana and Upadana, Bhava, Jati, Jara. So I can now find that there is a way out. So the Sammaditthi, what I am going to do is the Paccavekkhana in terms of food. So that is Sammaditthi. Now when I implement Samma Sankappo, Nekkhamma Sankappo, because I see the danger in continuity of food, of relishing the food. So I am not going to torture by not eating, nor I am going to indulge in overeating. Both I am not going to do. So I will follow Bhojana Mattanyutta. That means moderation in eating. Only when hungry, hunger pangs are killing. The thirst pangs are killing. So I am going to eat. I'm feeling sleepy, so I might have tea or coffee, but that's the only thing because I have got accustomed to it. So there is a sankhara already. So it has, consciousness is recognized. So I don't want this consciousness to torture the mind. So as consciousness, I would like the mind to be free of craving. So that is the sankappa of nekkhamma. Abhyapada sankappa. I can see that everybody is fighting for food only, and shelter, and clothing, and medicine. There is no other thing anybody is doing in life. Only these four. So there is no point in hating anyone. Vihimsa sankappo, that is avihimsa sankappo. That means I will not torture. I will not create any kind of animosity, pain, or violence against myself or with others, because all are in search of food. Some wants more food, some want less food, some wants to store food, some doesn't want to store food, but whatever it is, it's only about food. The money what we are accumulated is food. There's nothing else other than food. Money for shelter, money for clothing, money for medicine, money for food. Other than that, you will never find anything at all why a person is saving money in the first place or spending money. Again, if somebody is a drug addict, again food. Somebody is an alcoholic, again food. So everything is food only. So there's nothing else which skips food. So today I decide not to indulge in food. That is the sankappa. Then samma vacha. What is there in wrong speech? There is no point. So I'm not going to tell lies, because telling lies will increase the intake of food, the negative food. No point. Then pisuna vacha, slander, putting one another person into trouble, which is again a food, no required. Parusa vacha, harsh speech. Why should I be harsh when everybody is struggling for food? It makes no sense. Then sampapalapa. Now somebody goes to a movie, he explains all about movie, and I sit and see that a fellow, why did he act in the movie? Because of food. Why did this idiot go and watch the movie? Again for food. He was feeling bored, so he wanted to watch the movie. Then he had some popcorn and some cool drinks and this and that, and he went to a restaurant, and again he ate and came. So which is food. So then I see that there is no point in micha vacha, samma vacha, proper speech. Everybody talks about food only. What's the point in meeting somebody when 99% of the time we are going to talk about food? It can be about a country, which is a food. It can be about a restaurant, it's again a food. It can be about a club, it is food. It can be about game, it's again a food. It can be about research or something, again a food. So basically, whatever we are going to speak, indulge, is food. So then, samma kammanto, panatipata, adinnadana, then kameshu michachara. The third one, kameshu michachara. Why do I do it? Food. The girl is a food for me. She looks so pretty. Her eyes look so nice. Her hairs are good. Her lips is good. And so many other structures are good. So, isn't she pretty? Yes. Delicious. So why can't I bring her home? Yes, you can, if she agrees to it. So it's again a food. So samma ajivo. I will do only those tasks which will give me minimum food, not maximum food. That means if I were to join an organization where they say sky is the limit to grow, then that's not a company to be with, because that creates craving. So, samma jivo, samma vayamo, two akusala, two kusala. One which has not yet come, I am going to work hard to remove it. One which has come, I am going to remove it. One which has developed as, or which the kusala which has not come, I will strive hard to develop it. One which has already come, I am going to develop it. Then samma sati, that is, I am going to look at what is food, the origin of food, the fight for food. Food here again includes water, so don't take it as food as only solid food. So I am going to reflect upon when this being was on the first day of inception into the womb, what was it eating? So sati. Now that takes me to samadhi. What it takes me to samadhi? What kind of samadhi? So it will take me to savitakka savichara samadhi. Savitakka here representing the samma sankappo, what I had, taking that, and vichara, detailing on it. That is nekkamma sankappo. If when I wanted to do that, I need to see how this food creates an illusion. Na nibiddhaya. So I'll again start looking at that. If I relish, it's going to cause this problem. So then my sati is established. So kaye kayanupassi viharati, vedana vedananusupassi viharati, chitte chittanupassi viharati, dhamme dhammanupassi viharati. All the four relating to food. Then the samadhi is savitakka savichara samadhi, avitakka. That means I have already done the contemplation or debating of what needs to be taken. Now it's only vichara matta samadhi. So I'm constantly looking at how this food creates illusion. Then after some time, I establish avitakka avichara samadhi. This is profound samadhi where piti, sukha, ekagata is going to happen. And this will then lead to the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth jhanas using the food. So we can take the next part tomorrow. We are already at 9:41 because the next one is even more interesting on how he explains about the jhanas, how you can escape the mara, the death blow, which will then take this consciousness into new existence. How you can really make or wink at mara and he cannot find where you are. So we will take it up tomorrow. Questions?
No questions from my side.
Okay, very good. All clear.
Ethan Santan, it's like every sutta of Buddha finally come back to Ethan Santan, and like it is like a summary of every sutta that is there. So
Correct.
I think like that only, like if we completely understand and experience that, I think that will only help us get through all the channels and finally to our also probably.
Right. Very correct. Okay, so no questions, then we will end the session.
Sure.
Okay. So only on food, we
go through the arhant?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
If you
So the Ajahn Shah, only one meal is prepared per day. No breakfast and no dinner, only one meal.
no, that is on the physical food what you're talking about.
Okay.
This is all the four food.
Okay.
See, one is the Kavalinka Ahara, which is the gross food or the physical food.
Okay. Okay.
Then we have Passa Ahara.
Okay.
Then we have Mano Sanchetana Ahara. Then we have Vinyana Ahara.
Okay.
So we have to work on all the four. It is not only the food what we take, whether we take one time or
Okay.
that is one part of it.
Okay. Kavalikara.
Yeah, it's that's only Kabalika Ahara. So Kabalika Ahara need not be the Magga Phala of everything.
Okay. So 4 aharas is there.
Yes.
So we work on the 4 aharas. Okay.
Okay. No, however you want to put it, Kalpanaji, it is like this. See, when we take a physical food, we have to first establish that why are we taking the food. Then this Passa Ahara, Mano Sanchetana Ahara and Vinyana Ahara will be brought under control. So first we have to establish Pachavekana, that is reflection. So if we want to drop the craving of all the four food, we need to know why we are doing it. And then the craving will subside. Then the tanha khayo will happen. Then you see viraga. And you get nirodha and nibbana. So it is not that we need to do 100 different things to get into nibbana. So if we go to the Sutta, that is Majjhima Nikaya 9, you will see Sariputta explaining of all to become an arhat. He talks even about Dasa Kusala and Dasa Akusala. That also makes you arhat. Then he talks about the food. That also makes you arhat. Knowing the Four Noble Truths, that also brings you to arhat. Then if you know the Paticsamutpada, from why the Jara and Marana is going to happen, then what is the reason for Jati, and then what is the reason for Bhava, then what is the reason for Upadana, then what is the reason for Vedana, then what is the reason for Passa, and what is the reason for Salaytana, then what is the reason for Namarupa, then what is the reason for Vinyana, then what is the reason for Sankhara, then what's the reason for Avidya, then what is the reason for Asava. So we can choose whatever you want. So Sariputta has given so many. So there are these monks keep on asking him, this is one way you said, but there could be another way. And he says, yes, there is another way and you can do this. And then they say, very good, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. There should be another way then. He says, yes, there is another way. Then there is another way. Then you can choose whichever you want. But you can't choose all. That is not possible. So what I found most effective was on ahara, because we are having ahara. Even if you force yourself one meal in a day, you are craving. It should be voluntary. So unless a person becomes a bhikkhu or a bhikkhuni and he or she knows why he or she is having one meal, wherein the remaining time is spent on investigation, meditation, then that is okay. But if we are indulging in the worldly job also, staying in one meal is going to take into Kila Matta Matanu Yoga, which is equally worse than the kama sukhalukanu yoga. So we should remove both the extremes. One extreme is kama, second extreme is kilamatta. Depriving is as dangerous as indulging. So especially physical food, what needs to be brought down is phassa ahara, mano sanchetana ahara, vinyana ahara. That will automatically remove the need for lot of physical food, because all are there in the names only. Khichdi is in the name, Maharashtrian dish is there in the name, roti is there in the name. It's actually wheat only. Whether you eat wheat or rice or barley or this or that, how does it matter? You just fill up. But then human beings will say that wheat is better than rice, barley is better than this, millet is better than that. So we keep on giving some proofs, and that's again ahara, mental ahara now. So we have to stop that ahara. It will automatically stop the physical ahara. But if we stop the physical ahara, leave the other three ahara, it is of no use. Hope I could answer you, Kalpana ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Bhavesh, any questions? Preeti, anyway, Swati said that she doesn't have any question.
No, sir. From my side, no questions.
Okay, no problem. So shall we end then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Namo Buddhaya. So we'll meet tomorrow for the conclusion, hopefully. Tomorrow.
Namo Buddha. Good night, sir.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.